Welcome to another edition of the Streaming Chronicles. Today's show comes from Netflix. Locke Key is the Netflix adaptation of the graphic novel series by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. After the death of their father, the Locke family moves into Key House, a mansion that has been passed down over generations. In the house, the kids find a set of magical keys. As they learn more about the keys, they uncover more of their father's past and must take on evil forces that want to take the keys from them. I actually really enjoyed this one. I didn't really know much going into it, so I basically had no idea what to expect, and it was really fun. Now, it's not a perfect show, but it was super entertaining, and I'm really excited to see where it goes from here. So, let's get into it. From start to finish, one thing I really enjoyed about the show was the story. From episode 1, I was hooked. They did a really great job of setting up these characters, setting up the mystery of the keys, the past of their father, all this stuff that made me really want to watch the series more. As the story unfolds, you get some more twists and turns, you learn more about certain characters, you learn more about these magic keys. I was just along for the ride. I also think the show did a really great job of exploring the relationships between the Locke kids with each other, with their mother, and with their friends that they make in this new town. I was really invested in these relationships. Now, I didn't totally agree with the direction that some of these relationships went in, but I would still say I was invested most of the time. All right, let's talk characters. For me, the best character, my personal favorite, but also the one that I think was given the most justice, was Bodhi. I think he had the best development. He was the smartest person a lot of times. He made the most sense. His decisions made sense. I think everything about him just worked. He was really fun. He was really intelligent. From a young age, like, this kid killed it. Not only was this character written well, but I think another big part of it was Jackson Robert Scott's performance as Bodhi. I think he did a really great job. In terms of villains, I thought the show was pretty successful. We have two main antagonists as the show goes on, Dodge and Sam. I think his development was done really well, and there's an episode towards the second half that I think you really get to explore who he is, and the conclusion to his story I thought was very sad, but it worked really well. There's also Dodge, who is the evil force that's coming after the keys. Without giving away too much details, too much spoilers about who she is, I thought she was just a menacing force. She was very manipulative, and it was really interesting to see how she would really get people to do things for her. There's also a very twisty, how do I put this? There's a lot of twists to her character, and when you think you know what's going on, you may not actually know the full story. I thought that part was done really well too. Tonally, I think the show was pretty consistent. I think of it kind of like Harry Potter, where it started off very fun, magical, whimsical, where you see these kids kind of having fun finding these keys, discovering their powers, all that stuff. But as the series goes on and they learn more, it does get progressively darker, and I thought that worked really well. They do also mix in some comedy, some coming-of-age elements, teen drama. I think the show has a little bit of everything for everyone. Now, all that being said, there were some things that I think could have been done a little bit better. One of those things being the characterization of Kenzie and Tyler. Both these actors did great jobs, like their performances were great, but I feel like the writing and how they went about these characters didn't totally work. Kenzie goes through this big change in her character, her personality, towards the beginning of the series. At first, her character was very vulnerable and kind of timid. You could tell that their past really had an effect on her. I thought that left a lot of room for her character development as the show would go on. But then this big change happens and her character changed completely. After this change, it was kind of harder for me to sympathize with her character because she did a lot of stupid stuff. She was very reckless, she became more selfish, and it was just harder to get behind that, you know? So it would have been nice to still see that character development happen as the show went on. And again, if this show continues on, I'm sure there'll be more opportunities for her to grow. But in this first season, I thought she was kind of eh. Next up we have Tyler. He is kind of like the typical male leader type that you would see in a show like this, where he's not necessarily the best leader, and they keep making him be the leader. And even the characters kind of acknowledge that. Like, he keeps trying to tell everybody what to do, but they're like, we don't have to listen to you. So it's just constant cycle. And then there's also moments where he makes some dumb decisions. This one thing that really bugged me about it is that Kenzie and Tyler would always try and push Bodhi away or try and keep secrets from him when it was Bodhi that started this whole thing. And again, Bodhi is the most logical and the smartest, so for him not to be involved, to me, just didn't make sense. I feel like a lot of the situations that those two got in could have been easily avoided if Bodhi was involved. Next thing, the CGI. I would say when it came to the individual keys and those effects, I thought they did really great. But there's some other moments where they have full CGI versions of the characters because of a certain key's ability or a certain moment happening, and that stuff did not look as good. Like, there are some cool practical effects with like glowing lights and things shooting out, but when it came to fully rendered CGI things, I think the show could have used a little more work. Like, I don't know if it's a matter of time or money, but the CGI was fine, but there were definitely some moments where it stood out to me like, okay, maybe they should have tweaked that a little bit. And last thing, I think there are some moments, some story beats that didn't totally make sense. Based on the ending, some things were sort of explaining, but there are other things where I still question the logic. So it may take a few more watches to really figure out if they went through and explained all those things, but as of the first watch, I still am left with certain questions. The verdict. I think Locke Key is a great time. This show was really entertaining. I was really invested in the mystery of the keys, the characters, the villain. I thought that all worked for me. Even though there were some iffy effects and some of the decisions the characters were making didn't totally work for me, I still really had a great time watching it. This review was requested by Clerk on Instagram. If you would like to request a show or a movie for me to watch on streaming services and review, hit me up on my social media accounts. I'm leaving links in the description below. Have you seen Locke Key? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.